Hi everyone, am I audible and visible to you all? Hello, good afternoon. Hi everyone, hello, am I perfectly audible and visible to you all? Yes, am I perfectly audible and visible to you all? So welcome to Unacademy NEET English. I'm your biology educator Ambika Sharma, and today finally we are going to start the human physiology, right? So as per your demand, I'm starting this particular unit, that is human physiology, and today we are going to start with the first chapter of that particular unit, and that is digestion and absorption. I know many of you are going to ask that, ma'am, in the new NCERT this chapter digestion and absorption is deleted, so why are we discussing it? Because bache, it is not deducted from the NEET syllabus yet. Okay, right? So as of now we have to follow the old NCERT, and this is the chapter that we need to revise, that we need to learn as well. And let me tell you, this chapter is very easy. You're not going to find any problem here in this particular chapter. Clear? Okay, so let's start this particular chapter, digestion and absorption. So guys, are you people excited for this next unit? Because from this unit, yes, we can expect 15 to 17 questions. Okay, 15 to 17 questions can come from the unit human physiology. So we really need to master it. And again, if you have wasted time and you are thinking that I need to start again, then let me tell you, students, it is the right time. Okay, it is the right time. Without wasting any time, you can still start your preparation and you can score well. It will be difficult for you after the month of September, because October, November, December, only 3 months will be there to complete the syllabus. Because as for me, January, February, March, April, they should be for the revision only. Right, till December you should finish your syllabus once. Okay, you should start with the second round of revision. Fine, so start as soon as possible. So share the video link with your friends as well, invite them, because I'm going to start the session. Okay, and moreover, bache, I don't know whether you know about it or not. You know, now your HSP Sirs batch is very amazing, and soon the prices are going to increase. Okay, as of now, the mind maps by HSP, so you guys are getting it at a price of 1999, but later on the price hike will be there. Okay, so this batch is going to be the most amazing batch, where HSP sir will teach you the chemistry with the help of mind maps. And let me tell you, not just the mind map, and he's going to explain you the reasons behind that theories as well. Okay, so you guys are going to enjoy the chemistry, and no doubt in biology you are going to get 360 out of 360 if you're following my lecture. But after his batch, you will definitely get 180 out of 180 in chemistry as well. So what you have to do, see the video section here. Wazeem sir has recently posted this video, and it is one of the best videos, that 15 mistakes to avoid for the NEET preparation. Must watch. And then here you guys can see why mind maps are important. So you guys should check these videos as well. And you know that HSP sir is one of the best teachers when it comes to the chemistry and when it comes to the tricks. So what you have to do, just go to the description box of any video. Like I truly want you people to watch this particular video, because after watching this video, you will learn how to read the NCERT, how to make the notes from the NCERT. This video is that important. So do check it out as well. And you guys have to go to the description box. Here you people can see the links as well. So chemistry mind maps by HSP sir, best batch it is, right? Even let me tell you, even if you are targeting the JEE, you guys can be the part of this particular batch. So link, obviously it is going to take some time, but yes, the link will be visible here. What you have to do, you need to add your number, you need to add your email ID, and you will be the part of this batch at a price of 1999. That's it, that's all. Okay. Okay, so join this batch as soon as possible. Clear? Because prices are going to increase, and then it will be for the, I think, near about 4,000 rupees or the 5,000 rupees. So don't waste your time, be the part of this batch as soon as possible. Now come to this particular topic, that is digestion and the absorption, one of the simplest chapter that we can study. Clear, bache? Okay, so let's start with the title first, which is saying digestion. So kids, you tell me, what is the meaning of digestion? Yes, what is the meaning of digestion? Can you just tell me? Anyone, just give it a try and express yourself. Type the answers in the chat section. Okay, just type the answers in the chat section and then revise it. Right, the session should be interactive. Though it's a YouTube session, but again, it should be interactive. So tell me, what is the meaning of digestion and absorption? Tell me, what is the meaning of digestion and absorption? Mr. Physics is easy. Let me tell you one thing, bache, my hotness and coldness is not going to decide your NEET selection. So you better focus on your studies. Okay? That will be good for you. Tell me. Digestion. To digest something, but how can you explain it? We are going to relate this particular part with the biomolecules. I hope you guys have attended my classes of that. So macromolecules, that's what we know, right? That's how I'm going to relate it, bache. So everyone just listen to me very carefully. Digestion means basically it is the breakdown of the complex things into the simpler ones so that body cells can absorb it. I'm repeating this again, guys. What is going to happen in the digestion? There will be the breakdown of the complex things, right, into the simpler ones so the body cells can absorb it. That is the meaning of digestion. Now, ma'am, what is this complex? What is the simpler things? Let me tell you. Let's start with the word food first. You know that food is very important for all of us, isn't it? Food is very important for all of us, isn't it? Why? Because it is providing us the energy. Right, it is important, and that energy is important for our metabolism as well. Right, we need energy, we need nutrition, we need our food. So when you talk about the food, right, in the food there are different items, isn't it? In the food also, right, which is providing us the nutrients, which is providing us the energy, right? Here we also talk about the macronutrients, we also talk about the micronutrients, isn't it? They are important for our functioning, of course. So when the word is macro, okay, macro means large, micro means small. Macro means large and the micro means small. Large particles, large nutrients, small nutrients, that is what we have. Now, see, some things we need in more quantity, right? Like your carbohydrate, proteins, fats. We need such items in more quantity. But on the other hand, the vitamins are also required by our body for its normal functioning, but that we need in less quantity. So that is how we even divide this food and nutrition. Clear? Macronutrients are there, micronutrients are there, right? Right? That is how we are dividing it as well. Clear, bache? Now, I'm going to relate this particular part with the what, Subhashini? I'm going to relate this particular part with the biomolecules as well. So here, what am I saying? I'm saying biomacromolecules. Biomacromolecules. Macro, again, having high molecular weight. Fine, having high molecular weight. So biomacromolecules are the one having high molecular weight, above 1000 or above 10,000 Daltons it is, right, bache? And here you include your polysaccharides like starch. Fine, you include the proteins as well, isn't it? Isn't it? Right? So our body cannot, right, our body cannot direct just consume that starch because it's a polysaccharide. Okay, it's a biomacromolecule, it's a polysaccharide. So what we have to do here, there will be the breakdown of the starch. Right, bache? There will be the breakdown of the starch into the simpler forms. It's a polysaccharide having large molecular weight, having high molecular weight. We need to break it down into the simpler things. Ultimately, we need to convert it into the glucose so our body cells can absorb it. Right? They can assimilate it. They can utilize it for their functioning. So that is what we discuss in the digestion. Fine, bache. That is what we can discuss in the digestion, because our cells, individual cells, cannot directly take the starch. They need the simpler forms. So in the digestion, this is the breakdown, right? Breakdown of complex things into the simpler ones. So when we are saying complex things, we are talking about these biomacromolecules. When we are saying simpler things, we are talking about the monomers, monosaccharides, amino acids, your glycerol, your fatty acids, like this. Clear, bache? Like this. This is what digestion is. Clear? Right? Clear? So now you know that in our syllabus, what do we study? We study the human physiology. Yes or no? What we study? We study the human physiology. Yes or no? We humans, we belong to class Mammalia. Isn't it? We are mammals basically. We belong to class Mammalia. We are the advanced organisms. We belong to phylum Chordata. But don't be like that, ma'am. Why in physiology you are talking about the diversity? Because you should know how to relate everything, right? It's not class 11th biology. It's not class 12th biology. It is the biology, right? It's not botany. It's not zoology. It's biology, okay? The study of living organism, and you need to study it properly so that you guys can relate everything all together. And when you will start relating all the topics all together, means your understanding level is better, right? Then you will learn how to apply the concept. So what am I saying? I'm talking about the mammals. We humans, we belong to mammals. And you know that we are what? We are advanced. And in our case, what are we going to see? In our case, you know that we are multicellular without any doubt, and we have organ system level of organization, isn't it? We have organ system level of organization, isn't it? And when it comes to the digestion, so we have a proper system which is known as digestive system. What do we have? We have a proper system which is known as digestive system, Gayatri. Clear, bache? Clear, bache? Because we are the advanced organism, so that is why we have the complete digestive system, okay? And that complete digestive system means it is having two different openings. There will be the mouth, and then there will be the anus. Clear, bache? Clear, bache? What is the meaning of having complete digestive system? That there will be the two openings, two different openings will be there. One is mouth, another is anus. Mouth is for the ingestion and anus is for the egestion. So we have the complete digestive system. And bache, when it comes to the digestive system, you have two things. One is alimentary canal, okay, and the another part is your digestive glands. So your digestive system is made up of these two things. One is alimentary canal and another is the digestive glands, okay? Okay, so if you are only talking about the tube-like structure, right, that is just the alimentary canal. But when you have included the glands also, the secretory things also, which are very helpful for the digestion, right, then together you are saying it is making the digestive system. So that's how we are going to study it. And as I said, because we have what? We have the complete digestive system. We have two opening, mouth and anus. When it is the mouth, it is for the ingestion, for uptake of food, and anus is for the egestion, for the excretion of food, isn't it? For the excretion of food. Is that clear? Yes, bache? Is that clear? Sure? Sure? So alimentary canal extends from your mouth to anus. It's a tube-like structure. Clear? It's a tube-like structure. Okay? Okay? So now let's make a flow chart here. Right? What we need to do? We need to make a flow chart here. So it's my advice, bache, please make the running notes. I will share the PDF with you. That's not a problem at all. But I think you all should make the notes. That will be very good for your revision. Fine. So what do we have? As I said, alimentary canal and the glands are there. Fine. Alimentary canal and the glands are there. So how are you going to divide this alimentary canal? Can you just tell me? How are you going to divide this alimentary canal? Yes, quickly. How are you going to divide this alimentary canal? I hope you know that there will be the mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, These are the parts, bache. Esophagus, stomach. You know na sequence. There will be the mouth, buccal cavity, the pharynx will be there, the esophagus will be there, the J-shaped stomach will be there, and then comes the small intestine. Okay, then comes the small intestine, and then there will be the large intestine, and finally there will be the anus, isn't it? Finally there will be the anus. Clear, bache? Clear? Yes or no? Yes or no? That's how we are dividing it. So there will be the mouth, there will be the buccal cavity, then comes the pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and finally that opening, anus will be there. Yes or no? There will be the anus. Yes or no? And when we talk about the another part, that is your digestive glands. What do we have here? We have the digestive glands. They will help in the chemical digestion of the food. I will explain these to you. I will explain this part as well. So here we will talk about the salivary glands. We are even going to talk about the gastric glands. Trust me, this chapter is very easy. Okay, then you will even talk about the liver, the pancreas. Okay, and moreover, the secretions of the small intestine, right? The secretions of the small intestine as well, right, bache? And even, right? Yes, even the secretion of the, just a minute, small intestine as well. Right? So all that things will help in the chemical digestion of the food. So that's what we study here. So digestive system, this is what we have in the alimentary canal in the sequence: mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and finally the anus. And in digestive gland, this is what you have. Clear, bache? This is what you have: salivary, gastric glands, liver, pancreas, intestinal glands. Even we will talk about the bile as well, right? We will even see that how these different secretions are acting on different type of the respiratory substrate or different type of the food item. So any doubt here? Yes, bacho. Any doubt here? Done? So if I talk about the layers, right, they say, you know that, as I said, that we are the advanced organisms. We are the multicellular one. We have the organ system level of organization. I told you this thing. So obviously, even we are triploblastic, right? Even we are triploblastic. We are made up of 3 germ layers. Can you name that germ layers, Gayatri? Yes, everyone. Can you name that germ layers? We are made up of 3 germ layers. So we have ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. We have ectoderm, endoderm, and mesoderm. So when it comes to your digestive system, especially your alimentary canal is majorly made up of ectoderm and the endoderm. Okay, in alimentary canal, mainly you will see ecto and endoderm, and majority of the parts of the alimentary canal, they are formed by the endoderm. Okay, like let's say mouth, your hard palate, it is having ectoderm. The rectum and anus part, it is having ectoderm. Rest part is having the endoderm. Clear, bache? Rest part is having the endoderm. And we will see the coverings as well. We will see the histology as well. We will see the layers as well. And in that layers, you people are going to see that some layers are also made up of mesoderm. Mesothelium is also making the layers there. So if you are finding, right, if you are finding these terms difficult, please go and watch structural organization in animal chapter as well. It will clear all your concepts. Done, bache? Done, bache? So that's what we are going to study. Okay, so we are going to start with the alimentary canal first. Okay, we are going to start with the alimentary canal first. Okay, and here in alimentary canal, in today's lecture, we'll be covering mouth, buccal cavity, and till stomach part we will cover it. Glands and their secretion we will start later, but we are going to start today. We will try to cover it till stomach. Okay, and tomorrow, you know that at 5 p.m. I will not change the time. Okay, at 5 p.m. we will again cover the second part, and we will try our best to finish it tomorrow itself. Okay, in 2 lectures, the chapter will be over. right? We need to finish the syllabus as soon as possible. Why? Because we have to revise it as well. And trust me, even if it is a one shot, we are not going to skip any content, right? The quality will be maintained. Don't worry about that. Done, bache? So mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx and the esophagus. And here in buccal cavity, obviously the palate we are going to discuss, the tongue we are going to discuss. We are even going to talk about the teeth as well. Clear, bache? We are even going to talk about the teeth as well. So let's start with the alimentary canal first. Okay, let's start with the alimentary canal first. Clear? Clear? So as I said, it's a tube-like structure which includes the mouth, from mouth to anus. So let's start with the mouth. So what is mouth? Yes, what is mouth? Very easy. It's a transverse slit-like aperture, right? It's a transverse slit-like aperture guarded by the lips. Okay, guarded by the lips. You can see upper lip and lower lip is there. If I talk about these lips outside, right, they are having some glands, sebaceous gland, oil forming glands. Inside also some glands are there, but they are forming watery secretions. So ultimately what we have to remember, that mouth is a transverse slit-like aperture which is guarded by the lips, by the movable lips. Is that clear, Priyanka? It's a horizontal, yes, it's a horizontal, transverse slit-like aperture guarded by lips, upper and lower lip. Clear? Clear, bache? Guarded by lips, upper and lower lip. Is that clear? Is that clear? Now next to the mouth will be buccal cavity. Next to the mouth will be buccal cavity. We can together also call it as buccopharyngeal cavity, right? We can also call it as buccopharyngeal cavity. But yes, before this, right, let me tell you something about the nutrition as well. Okay, bache, what do you know about the nutrition? What do you know about the nutrition? Yes, what do you know about the nutrition? Give it a try. Please answer it quickly in the chat section. Anything? We have holozoic, but actually what is this nutrition? There are different types by which an organism can take their food. Just you know that autotrophs are there, heterotrophs are there. Autotrophs which are going to synthesize their own food, like plants. Okay, they perform the photosynthesis. Heterotrophs which are dependent on others for their nutrition. And even if you are talking about the heterotrophic nutrition, there are different types. Like some only absorb the organic matter, right? Some are dependent on a host for their nutrition. Clear? They can have the parasitic modes as well. In our case, right, in the case of humans, we have holozoic nutrition. What type of nutrition is there, bache? Holozoic nutrition is there, right? Because I'm going to use this word again and again. So firstly, I'm explaining it. So what type of nutrition is there? We have the holozoic mode of nutrition. Basically, here the solid food will be ingested. Right, solid food will be ingested. What will be done here? The solid food will be ingested here. That's the idea here, right? When it comes to the holozoic nutrition. Okay. So here we have 5 steps basically. How many steps are there? 5 steps are there. The very first is ingestion. The food will be ingested, of course, with the help of mouth. Then there will be the breakdown of that food, that is digestion, right? And then there will be the absorption of that digested food by the body cells. Blood will transport it, right? And then you know that there will be the assimilation. Our body organs, our body cells, they will use that food, right? They will use that food, right? They will assimilate it. And finally, the waste material, the undigested food will be egested. there will be the egestion. So these are the 5 steps here in the holozoic nutrition. And bache, when it is the digestion, it will be chemical and mechanical as well. There are 2 forms, mechanical digestion and the chemical digestion. So mechanical, like, you know, mastication of food, it starts with our teeth, cut, right? We are basically breaking that food into smaller particles, right? Whatever you are eating, any food item that you are eating, what you people are doing, masticating. You are going to break it down into small, right, structures. Basically small bites will be there. Then why? To increase the surface area. Why? So that enzymes can work. So everything is planned. So mechanical digestion is there. With the help of these teeth, even the muscles are going to, you know, churn the food, and finally the enzymes will act on it, and obviously you will get the final product. So that's how we are going to study it. So I will use these terms again and again. That's why I'm telling you about the nutrition first. Clear? So in our case, it is going to be holozoic, having 5 steps. Fine, having 5 steps. So mouth, we are done with the mouth. Okay, now the next part, as I said, is buccal cavity. What will be there? There will be the buccal cavity. Now firstly understand it. Just look at this. Look at this part here. This complete structure is the skull. Yes or no? Here this complete portion is the skull. But I will relate it with other chapters as well. I'm not here just to translate the NCERT from English to Hindi. I will do everything possible to explain this topic. So listen to me very carefully. So this part is what? Skull having cranium, which is brain box, having facial bones as well. Brain box, cranium is there, facial bones are there. That is what we know. So it's a bony structure. Further, you know that all that skin is present, but it's a bony structure ultimately. Now, when you look at our face, right, you know that this part, nearest nose, it's meant for what? For the breathing, yes or no? For the breathing, yes or no? This one is the mouth. The air will enter. This is the external nares, nasal chamber, nasal cavity, internal nares. Then again the pharynx will be there. Here, this is the mouth. You know that. Here, these are the gums, the teeth, and then next to it, that buccal cavity, having tongue present at the floor of the buccal cavity. When you touch the roof, you will find hard and the soft part, the palate there. The palate there. That's how we have to discuss it, right? We have to discuss it. So obviously when you touch the roof of the buccal cavity, anteriorly you are going to find what? The hard part. Posteriorly you are going to find what? The soft part. Touch it with your tongue, and the floor is having this tongue, right? The floor is having this tongue. So ultimately in buccal cavity, you can observe it very carefully. We will talk about the teeth, about the tongue, about the palate, right? About the tongue, about the palate. But have you noticed there is a space also in between gums and cheeks? Use your tongue, move here and there, right? Move your tongue here and there, right? You can feel it, isn't it? Isn't it? There is a space in between the gums and the cheeks. These are my gums and the cheeks. There is a space in between that is known as vestibule. Okay, that is known as vestibule, where temporarily your food will be stored. Clear? Teeth meant for mastication, having different shapes. We can just look at it and we can use these terms. Okay, the tongue is there, the palate is there. So we are going to feel the human physiology. Fine, whatever we can do. No doubt physiology is something internal, but whatever you guys can observe, whatever you guys can relate, you should, isn't it? Isn't it? And that's what you are going to do in your MBBS as well. So let's start with the buccopharyngeal cavity, or you can simply say the buccal cavity. So you know that your mouth leads to buccal cavity. Mouth leads to what? It leads to, yes bache, buccal cavity. So buccal cavity mein, first of all, we are going to talk about the vestibule. So what is this vestibule? The space between gums and cheeks. The space between gums and cheeks is vestibule, where there is the temporary storage of food. Okay, or simply where food is temporarily stored. Any doubt? Where food is temporarily stored. Any doubt? Yes? Any doubt? Right, that is your vestibule. That is your vestibule. Now, we are moving in. So next to vestibule is actual buccal cavity. For that, we also use the word oral cavity. So here you will see the teeth, the muscular tongue is also there. What we have there? We have the teeth, the muscular tongue, and the palate. Yes or no? Teeth, tongue, and the palate. So, bache, when you talk about this tongue is making the floor of buccal cavity. Your palate is making the roof of buccal cavity. Clear? Palate is making the roof of buccal cavity, and the tongue is making the floor of the buccal cavity. So first of all, let's start with the roof itself. Let's start with the palate. So palate is having two parts. One is your hard palate, another is your soft palate. So what will you study here? Hard palate and the soft palate. Hard. Feel it with your tongue. Yes, everyone, feel it with your tongue, the anterior hard part. And this hard part, if I talk about this hard part, okay, so this anterior hard part is also having, you know, we feel some projections here. Isn't it? You feel some kind of, I won't say totally rough, but yes, some things like that. Isn't it? Isn't it? Yes or no? So anterior part of the palate, it is anterior part of the palate, right, bache, having some ridges like structure. Having some, Sheetal bache, ridges like structure here, anterior part. And for that you use the word ruge. For that you use the word ruge. And when it comes to the posterior part here, this is going to be your soft palate. Fine, it is going to be your soft palate. And if you will notice, your soft palate is forming a kind of overhang posteriorly, right? Can you see it? Give it a try, right? Just check out the mirror right now. You will see some hanging structure like this, right? Take your tongue out, then check it out. You will see some hanging structure there as well. It is also the part of palate. Let me tell you how. So the interior part is the hard palate, right? Having some, you know, projections known as rugae. And posteriorly, it is going to be the soft palate, which is forming this hanging structure. And for that, you use the word uvula. For that, you use the word uvula. Can you see that? Uvula. Okay? Okay? Right, now hard part is bony. Hard palate is bony. So bache, it contains two bones basically. Your maxilla, which is making your upper jaw as well, and even your palatine bone. Clear? I'm not saying that you have to remember it, but if you want to note it down, right, you guys can. It's not mandatory, but still, right, if you want to note it down, you can. So it is maxilla and palatine. It is maxilla and palatine. Palatine it is. Clear? The bony part. And then comes the soft part, which is forming this hanging structure, that is known as uvula. Clear, bache? That is known as uvula. Now, this is what you need to remember. Initially, I told you that this is the buccopharyngeal cavity. Even the pharyngeal region is also there. Even the pharyngeal part is also there. So, anterior part of this hard palate, right? Anteriorly, this hard palate, it is actually there in the buccal cavity. The soft palate, posteriorly, it is there in the pharyngeal region. It is there in the pharyngeal region. Palatine is a bone, bache, Sai Surya. It's nothing, it's a bone, bache. Clear, bache? Clear? So, posterior part of the palate is your soft palate, right? And it is forming this hanging structure, which is known as uvula, right, bache? Right, which is known as uvula. Clear? Clear? Now, what is the function of this uvula? Posteriorly it is present. Let me write it down. Now, you know, you eat the food, you swallow the food. Food will pass, right? Food will further pass to the esophagus and then finally to the stomach. This is what we know. Yes. So now when you swallow the food, right? When you are going to swallow the food. So this uvula, this hanging structure is going to close the internal nares, right? Let me draw a diagram. This is suppose, right, with the help of diagram, let me explain this part to you. So obviously this part is going to be the for the air, right? It will be there for the air passage, yes or no? This part is here for the air passage, yes or no? Let's take it in that. Try to understand it, right? So here you know that outer nostrils, these are external nostrils. And for nostrils, you are also using the word, right? For these nostrils, you are also using the word nares. You're also using the word nares. External nostril and the nares. And here, what do you have? This is your nasal chamber. Nasal cavity, nasal chamber is there. Yes or no? Nasal cavity, nasal chamber is there. So same way, internally, you are also having, right? I'm just randomly, I'm, just trying to show it to you. Right, I'm not saying this is the actual position, just to make it clear to you, right? Just to make it clear to you, this is how, that's how I'm showing it to you, right? That somewhere here, right? Somewhere here within it, external nares, nasal chamber, and then internal nares is also there. Yes, the internal nares is also there. Right, internal opening, internal nares is also there. Okay. Just a minute. Internal nares is also there here somewhere. And then let's say if this is the internal nares. Internal nares means internal nostrils. Then the next part to it is going to be the pharynx. Right? Next part to it is going to be the pharynx. Fine. So here, which is near to this nasal region, it is your nasopharynx. First of all, understand this part. Okay. It is the nasopharynx. Let me explain it in a different way, right? See, I told you mouth, buccal cavity, then comes the pharynx, and then comes the esophagus. Fine. And then comes the stomach, small intestine, and everything. Now, when you people are talking about the pharynx, pharynx is having, bache, 3 parts. How many parts are there in the pharynx? Pharynx is having 3 parts. No doubt we are discussing the palate, but let's relate it here. It is going to clear your concept. So how many parts are there in the pharynx? 3 parts are there. And there is a trick for it. That is your knoll, right? That is your knoll. Fine. What's the trick, bache? It's knoll. N stands for nasopharynx. O stands for oropharynx. And L stands for laryngopharynx. Okay, L stands for laryngopharynx. Are you getting it? Yes. Are you getting it, bache? L stands for laryngopharynx then. Yes or no? Yes or no? There are 3 parts in pharynx and the trick here is knoll, naso, oro, laryngo. Naso, oro, laryngo. Clear, bache? Now when you look at this, air is entering from external nostril. There is a nasal chamber, nasal cavity here. Then comes the internal nostril. The internal nostril will again move that air to the pharyngeal region. Which pharyngeal region is there? It is the nasopharynx. Right? It is the nasopharynx. Are you getting my point? So air will be received by this nasopharynx. Now can you just look at this part here, the middle part? It is, bache, oropharynx. What is it? It is the oropharynx. So can we just say that oropharynx is common? It is common for both. No doubt in NCERT it is written in general, but actually it is common for both, for air and for food. Isn't it? It is receiving air as well from nasopharynx. It is receiving the food as well from the oropharynx. Just look at this diagram now. See, this is the mouth here. The food will come. Obviously, this food will pass to this oropharynx. This is the nasopharynx which will receive the air. So, oropharynx is receiving the air as well. It is receiving the food as well. Is it clear or not? Is it clear or not? Yes or no? Yes or no? Sure. So, now I'm saying that this soft palate which is forming the uvula, right? The soft palate, which is forming the uvula, this hanging structure. So when you swallow the food, this uvula is going to close the internal nares. Why? So that the food should not enter there, right? Food can even enter there. So that uvula is going to close the internal nares. Internal nares, it will be closed by the uvula, so that food should not enter there. So nasopharynx, then oropharynx. Here you are seeing uvula, which will close the internal nares when food will be swallowed. And next to this oropharynx will be your laryngopharynx. What will be there? That will be your laryngopharynx. Next to it will be laryngopharynx. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? So here I will explain it, and then I will come to the tongue part. Okay, so now food is coming. This is the tongue region. You know that, oropharynx, and further there is the laryngopharynx. Now this one, this is, suppose if I am standing like this, right? I am standing like this. This side is my dorsal side. Okay, this side is my ventral side, and this side is my lateral side. I am repeating this again. This side is my dorsal side. This side is my ventral side. This side is my lateral side. So this laryngopharynx, see, look at this. Ventrally here. Ventrally here. This laryngopharynx, like let's say this is laryngopharynx. So this, let's say this is the ventral side. This is the dorsal side. Okay. So ventrally, this laryngopharynx is entering, right? Ventrally, this laryngopharynx is entering here in the larynx. Which part is there? It is the larynx, the voice box. And next to it will be your trachea. And just behind this trachea, this laryngopharynx is entering the esophagus here. Right? It is entering the esophagus here. Can you understand this part? Can you understand this part? Right? So laryngopharynx is further leading. Right, it is further leading into this larynx, and it is further leading into this esophagus. That we will discuss, but as of now, tell me, up to this part all clear? Yes, up to this part all clear. Then we will talk about the next part. Then we will talk about the next part. Sure, bache? Sure? Okay. Done? So this is the oral cavity having the soft palate. As I said, soft palate is there in the pharyngeal region. It is located posteriorly, and it is there in the pharyngeal region. This soft palate part. Clear, bache? It is there in the pharyngeal region. Is that clear? Sure? Sure. So naro, oro, and then laryngo. We will talk about it. And yes, we will talk about it. Clear, bache? So up to this part, I hope everything is clear to you. Now, next to this is, I told you here, the tongue. Now we will talk about the tongue. So any doubt from the palate part? Yes. Any doubt from the palate part? I hope there is no doubt. So the next is what? Next is the tongue region. So what is a tongue? So you know that tongue is a muscular structure, isn't it? Tongue is what? Tongue is a muscular structure, isn't it? Yes or no? Tongue is a muscular structure. It is a freely movable muscular organ attached to the floor of buccal cavity, attached to the floor of buccal cavity by frenulum. That point is very important, given in your book as well. By frenulum, right? So this is the floor of buccal cavity. For floor of buccal cavity is containing this tongue, muscular organ, right? So this tongue is freely movable. You know that you can move it. You can take it out, in, up, down, here and there. It's freely movable. It is muscular. It is freely movable, and it is attached to the floor of buccal cavity by frenulum. How is it attached to the floor of buccal cavity by? Right? It is attached to the floor of buccal cavity by frenulum. Yes or no? Yes or no? So, bache, here, if I talk about the anterior part of tongue, right? Anterior part, this part, if I talk about the anterior part of the tongue, it is totally free, isn't it? It is totally free. But when you talk about the posterior part here, okay, it is attached to the hyoid bone. Fine. Posterior part of the tongue is attached to a bony structure. It is attached to hyoid bone, bache. It's a U-shaped bone basically. Okay, it's a U-shaped bone. It is given in NCERT, but it is given there in skeletal system. Okay, right? It is given in skeletal system. So anterior part is totally free, right? Posterior part is attached to the hyoid bone. What is this hyoid bone? It's a U-shaped bone, bache, and we also call it as a tongue bone, and it is the only bone of the skull which is not articulating with any other bone, right? Let me tell you, it is supporting the tongue basically. Okay, so it's a kind of U-shaped bone. This hyoid bone, it's a kind of U-shaped bone, right? And this is the bone of the skull, only bone of the skull which is not articulating with any other bone. And what is the meaning of being articulating? It is not articulating with any other bone. Clear? Not articulating with any other bone. Done? So means it is not attached to any other bone. Jaise here in the skull, you know that skull is attached to this vertebral column, right? Condyles are there, right? One bone is attached to the another, but here the hyoid bone is not attached to any other bone, although there are some ligaments which will keep it intact. So ultimately this hyoid bone, and this point is there in the NCERT, let me tell you. Not in digestion and absorption, but again it is a part of NCERT. There is nothing extra that I'm telling you right now. Okay, so it is attached to the hyoid bone, which is a U-shaped bone, right? Which is a U-shaped bone, and it is going to support the tongue. Important question, MCQ, right? Important question it is the MCQ part. Done, bache? Any doubt? Any doubt? Okay, so when you talk about the structure of the tongue, so yes, so note down this point as well. Okay, so when you talk about the tongue, right, as I said, this is going to be the anterior part, and this one is going to be the posterior part. So bache, you will see that dorsal surface here is divided by a V-shaped groove-like structure, right? You will see in the case of tongue that dorsally there is the presence of a V-shaped, right? There is the presence of a V-shaped groove-like structure, right? And we used to call it as sulcus terminalis. What is it? It is sulcus terminalis. Sulcus terminalis it is. So this part anterior, this part posterior. Remember, the posterior part of the tongue is pharyngeal part. Means it is there in the pharynx, in that pharyngeal region. And this is the part of anterior part, is the part of oral cavity. It is the part of oral cavity, and it is the pharyngeal part. So this V-shaped, right? This V-shaped groove-like structure, V-shaped sulcus is dividing it. Okay, it is dividing it into oral part and the pharyngeal part. Clear, bache? This V-shaped sulcus is dividing it into two parts. It is dividing it into, right, oral part and the pharyngeal part. Clear, bache? Clear, bache? Now you know that two parts. Okay. One is the oral cavity wala part, oral part, and another is the pharyngeal part. So this is the sulcus terminalis. What is it? This is the sulcus terminalis. So this pharyngeal part here, you people will see. You people will see the palatine tonsils here, right? What will you find here? You will find the tonsils. Now the point is, what is the meaning of tonsils? Do you know what are tonsils? Do you know what are tonsils? Yes. Do you know what are tonsils, bache? Tonsils. They are the lymphoid tissue. Tonsil is actually the lymphoid tissue which is going to fight with the infection. This is sometimes we used to say, right? Some people used to say, "Arey, I'm having tonsils." So basically there is some infection and the body is fighting with it. So tonsils are the lymphoid tissue. Write it down. What are tonsils? They are the lymphoid tissue. Actually, in our digestive system, there is a ring of tonsil. We will come to this, but as of now, if I'm talking about the tongue, so firstly, let's talk about the tongue here. So here, what do you have? Right here, what do you have? You have the tonsils there. Clear, bache? You have the tonsils there. Right. Oh, my bad. It's not palatine tonsil because it's a tongue. For tongue, we use the word lingual. So it's the lingual tonsil actually. My bad. Right, it is the lingual tonsil. Why? Because it is the tongue region. So this is what you need to keep in your mind. And bache, here in the middle of this groove-like structure here, you will find an opening. Do you know that? Here you have one opening. Do you know that? And that opening is foramen cecum. Right, in the human physiology, we will again use this word foramen. So the meaning of foramen is opening. The meaning of foramen is opening. Now that's your homework. Right, if you actually want to be a doctor, right, this is what you people are going to tell me. Okay, right, this is what you people are going to tell me. Right, you have to tell me that what is the role of this opening. This opening is foramen cecum, right, present in the middle of this sulcus. Okay, it is present in the middle of this sulcus. Just a minute, guys. Okay, done. So any doubt? Yes, any doubt? Done? Is it clear? Sure? Sure. So this is about the pharyngeal part having the tonsil. This is the groove. This is the opening. Now this anterior part here, you will see, right? What will you see here, bache? We will find the papillae here, right? What will we see here? The papillae. The papillae, they are covering the dorsal side of the tongue. Okay, so the dorsal side of tongue is covered with the papillae, and what these papillae contain? These papillae, they have taste buds, right? You know, now we can taste things, we can differentiate as well. Why? Because we have the taste buds, right? Why? Because we have the taste buds. So these papillae, they contain the taste buds. So in the anterior part, in the oral cavity part of, in the oral part of the tongue, this is what you guys will see. So these papillae, right, they can be conical, triangular like structures. They are distributed over this part. They have the taste buds, bache. Clear? They have the taste buds, bache. So any doubt here? Yes, tell me, any doubt here? This is the upper surface of the tongue actually, right? This is the upper surface of the tongue actually. Right? So these are the papillae. So if I talk about the papillae, bache, not given in NCERT, so obviously we will not discuss it in detail, but still, let me tell you, you have, there are different types of papillae, like fungiform papillae, foliate papillae, circumvallate is there, right? Fungiform is there, foliate is there, circumvallate is there, there is one more. Can you tell me the name? Yes, there are four actually. There are four actually, and one another is there. For, it is also starting from the F. Might be you know that. That is your filiform. Right? Fungiform, filiform, foliate papillae, and the circumvallate. These are the four papillae present. So what you have to remember about these papillae? That they have taste buds. Right? What do they have? They have taste buds. That's what we need to remember. Right? What do they have? They have the taste buds. Is that clear? Is that clear? So here in these papillae, this is the filiform, which is devoid of taste buds. Only this is the point that you need to note down. Out of these papillae, the filiform, it is devoid of taste buds. Means it is without taste buds. Clear, bache? It is without taste buds, right? And these foliate papillae, they are vestigial to humans. Means in humans it is of no use, hai na? They were functional in some related species or in ancestor, but in human they are vestigial. These are the 2 points that you people should note down. Clear, bache? That is what you need to note down. Okay? Okay. Right? So fungiform, they are distributed overall. right? On this dorsal surface, on this anterior part, they are numerous, having taste buds. Same as the filiform, but filiform is not having the taste bud. Foliate, they are vestigial in humans, but you will find them in the case of rabbit. Okay, and the circumvallate, which are largest, and they are near to the sulcus terminalis, right? So there is no need to, right? There is no need to remember it in detail, but at least, right? At least if you are, you can say that if you are solving any PYQ and if you are getting these terms, you should know about it. That's why I'm telling you. Devoid means they do not have, right? Humaira devoid, किसी चीज की कमी होना, उसके बिना होना. Okay, so that's what you need to remember. Any doubt? Yes. Any doubt? So this is about the tongue region, and yes, tongue it is muscular. You know that, pinkish structure, right? And because of the distribution of these fungiform papillae, that color is there. Fungiform and this, right, and this filiform, their distribution is giving it that pinkish kind of structure. Okay, that is giving it this pinkish kind of structure, especially the fungiform. Okay, so now you know that you can move your tongue like outside, inside, outside, inside, and even I can move it like this, right? You can even move it like this, isn't it? So bache, there are muscles. So when I talk about that muscles, they are extrinsic and intrinsic muscles. Extrinsic, you know that, outside, intrinsic, inside. So when it is the extrinsic muscle, they help in the movement of tongue outside, inside, outward, inward. Outward, inward movement is with the help of extrinsic muscle, and sidewise movement is because of the intrinsic muscles. Clear, bache? Right? Okay, sideways movement is because of the intrinsic muscles. Done? Done? So that is about the tongue region. So now you know that it is attached to the floor of the buccal cavity by frenulum. Frenulum. With the help of it, it is attached. Right? With the help of that, it is attached. So you guys can check it. Frenulum. Fine? Frenulum. Clear, clear, clear. So next that we need to discuss is teeth. What we need to discuss next, that is teeth. Right? That is teeth also present in the buccal cavity. So what do you know about the teeth? Tell me. What do you know about the teeth? Quickly tell me. Yes, bache, please tell me quickly. What do you know about the teeth? Yes, bache, what do you know about it? Okay. Help in mechanical digestion, layer is enamel, but kids 28 help in churning. Like, you know a lot of things, isn't it? Isn't it? Chalo. So now you know that basically we know that the teeth, they are meant for the mastication of the food. They are present in buccal cavity, meant for the mastication of food. Now, bache, here we are going to talk about the dentition first, right? I will tell you the structure of teeth also, right? But firstly, we will start with the dentition first. So do you know what is the dentition? It is the arrangement of teeth. What is it? It is the arrangement of teeth in the buccal cavity. How teeth are arranged, that is known as the dentition. Clear, bache? That is known as the dentition. So tell me, any doubt here? Yes? Do you have any doubt here? Just mark it first. Then we have to discuss about the dental formula and everything here. Yes? right? The arrangement of teeth. What is it? The arrangement of teeth in the buccal cavity is known as the dentition. And in the case of humans, we are going to talk about three things. Fine, we are going to talk about three things. These are the characteristics of this dentition. That in humans, we will see thecodont, diphyodont, heterodont type of dentition. What type of dentition we are going to see in the case of humans? Right. In the case of humans, what are we going to see? Thecodont, diphyodont, and heterodont type of dentition. Thecodont, diphyodont, and heterodont type of dentition. This is what we are going to see in the case of humans. Now, let me explain this part to you first. Okay. Now, bache, let's start with the humans first. Now, you know that we have the jaws, right? We are the part of that gnathostomata. We have the jaws, right? The upper jaw is there, the middle jaw is there. Now in this upper jaw, right, please note down, it is made by the fusion of, right, it is made up of maxilla. Maxilla, this is the word that we use for upper jaw. Actually, it's a bone, right? It's a bone which is forming your upper jaw. It's a bone which is forming your upper jaw. So basically two maxillae, they are fusing, right? They are forming your upper jaw. Like this is the, both are maxillae. They are making our upper jaw. Are you getting it? It is making our upper jaw. Now when you're talking about the lower jaw, so it is made up of mandible, right? Mandible. So let me tell you, bache, mandible is the only movable bone of skull. Please take a note. It is the only movable bone of skull. So our upper jaw is maxilla, lower jaw is mandible. Upper jaw is basically fixed, made by the fusion of two bones. Mandible, it is movable. Okay, movable, only movable bone of the skull it is. Fine, it is the only movable bone of the skull. Now here in these, right, bones, in this upper and lower jaw, fine, here in this upper and the lower jaw, what will you see? You will see some socket like structure. These socket like structure, we also use the word alveoli for it, right? We also use the word alveoli for it. So actually the teeth are, right, our teeth are deeply embedded here in the socket bone. Okay, right? What's the point here, bache? Our teeth are deeply embedded here in the socket bone, right? Right? Let me write it. Each tooth is deeply embedded. It is deeply embedded in the socket bone. So such type of dentition is thecodont. I told you na, there are three words that we need to remember for the dentition. The first is thecodont. That is the meaning of thecodont. Why are we saying that our dentition is thecodont type of dentition? Because each tooth here is deeply embedded in the socket bone. The roots are deeply embedded there. Clear? The roots are deeply embedded there. Clear, bache? Clear, bache? First part clear. So upper jaw, it is made by the fusion of two maxillae bones, right? Right, bache? And the lower jaw, for lower jaw, we use the word mandible, and it is the only movable bone of skull. What is it? It is the only movable bone of skull. Clear? So the word thecodont, clear? Thecodont, clear? Now, in our lifetime, I'm only talking about the humans first. In our lifetime, you know that we have two sets of teeth. You know that we have two sets of teeth. Do you know that? Two sets of teeth. One set is milk teeth. It is of milk teeth, also known as temporary teeth, also known as deciduous teeth. or temporary set or deciduous set. Another is your adult teeth, permanent, right? Permanent set it is. So we have 2 sets of teeth in our lifetime. Yes, Shiva Kumar, Sheetal, we have 2 sets of teeth for our lifetime. So that is why we are using the word diphyodont. That is why we are using the word diphyodont. Right? So first of all, teeth, arrangement of teeth on the job, arrangement of teeth is the dentition. So in the humans, these are the 3 words that we need to remember. Important MCQ it is. It is thecodont, diphyodont, heterodont. It's thecodont, diphyodont, heterodont. Right? So now, when you're talking about this part, so upper jaw, maxilla, two maxillae, they will fuse, they will make it. Lower jaw, mandible, only movable bone of skull. So they have the sockets, also known as alveoli, right? These are the sockets, the spaces there in these bones. They are the sockets, alveoli, where our teeth are deeply embedded, right? Where our teeth are deeply embedded. So milk teeth, deciduous or temporary teeth are there, adult or permanent teeth are there, right? So 2 sets are there firstly. So because of this type of deeply embedded teeth, we are using the word thecodont, and because of 2 sets, we are using the word diphyodont. We are using the word diphyodont. Clear, bache? Clear, bache? Okay, we are using the word diphyodont. Clear? Clear, clear, clear? Done? Okay, and then why do we use the word, okay, why do we use the word heterodont then? Why do we use the word heterodont then? Hetero means different. Right? Hetero means different. So you all can see that we have different type of teeth, right? 4 different types are there. Incisors denoted by I, canines denoted by C, premolars denoted by PM, and then comes the molars denoted by M. So it's IC, PM, and then M. Incisor, canine, premolars, molars. So 4 different type of teeth are there. Incisor, canine, premolars, molars. Incisor, canine, premolars, molars. Clear बच्चे? Incisors, canine, premolars, molars. जैसे if you talk about the premolars and molars, they are basically for the crushing of the food. They both are mainly meant for the crushing of the food. Clear बच्चे? Like this one is basically for the gnawing. This one is for the tearing and the shredding. Right? So these teeth, you know that they have different roles. So wait, let me show you the diagram first. Okay, then we'll go ahead. See, this is the arrangement. Fine. So see, that's how they are arranged. Can you see this? So incisors, right? Incisors, canines, premolars, molars. Right? You guys can see the jaws as well, right? So here you have the molars, premolars, then canines, then comes the incisors. Right, bache? That's how they are arranged. Can you see it? That's how they are arranged. Just look at the diagram here. Right? I will explain you the dental formula, but first of all, just look at the arrangement here. So you have the incisors, right? You have the canines, you have the, yes, you have the incisors, you have the canine, you have the premolar, and you have the molars. Clear, bache? You have the molars. So IC, PM, M. Right? IC, PM, M. Clear? IC, PM, M. Now, let's talk about the dental formula. This is important, okay? Let's talk about the dental formula. Fine. So first of all, tell me, any doubt? Yes? Do you have any doubt? Tell me quickly. Do you have any doubt? Sure? Sure? So what I just said, that we have 2 sets. Okay, the adult set and the one is the milk teeth, right? Milk teeth, basically the temporary set. है ना? The temporary set. So first of all, let's start with the temporary set first. Okay. So now, bache, when like you are talking about the infants here. Okay, like you can see 0 to 5 years. Basically, we are starting with the infants first. right? We are going to talk about the dental formula. What are we going to discuss? We are going to talk about the dental formula, right? Right. So we are going to start with the infants first. Is that clear? Is that clear? So firstly, I will tell you about the, yes, I will tell you about the dental formula. Chalo, firstly, in general, let me explain this to you. In general, let me explain this to you. So now this is your upper jaw, this is your lower jaw. This is your upper jaw and this is your lower jaw. So basically, bache, the dentist is going to divide it into 4 parts. Do you know that? The dentist is going to divide it into 4 parts. In how many parts? In 4 parts. The upper and lower jaw. In mathematics, I think this is what you guys have studied. In the maths also, you might have studied this. Quadrants. I hope you know about the quadrants, right? This is your first quadrant. This one is your second quadrant. This one is your third quadrant. This one is your fourth quadrant. है ना? 4 quadrants. So basically, you are dividing your upper jaw and the lower jaw into 4 parts, right? You are dividing your upper jaw and the lower jaw into 4 parts. Clear, bache? Clear, bache? So 2 parts of upper jaw, 2 parts of lower jaw. So here we see incisor, canine, premolar, molar. This is the permanent set. It is about the permanent set. Incisor, canine, premolar and molar. So it's 2, 1, yes, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Am I right? It's 2, 1, 2, 3. Am I right? Right? What is the meaning of it? That here, when we talk about the upper jaw, when we talk about the 1/2 of the upper jaw, like this one quadrant, so we are saying that there are 2 incisors, there is 1 canine, there are 2 premolars and there are 3 molars. That's what we are saying, isn't it? That's what we are saying. So this is how the dentist is going to check. Like if you talk about the dental formula in the case of humans, and especially it is about the permanent set. So that's how we write 2, 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 3. So basically, what are we trying to say here? Right? So it's 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. So in totality, 8 multiply 2, it will be 32. Right? It will be 32. So see na, incisor, canine, premolar, molar. So that's how. Let me explain this. So as I said, we have to divide the upper jaw into 2 halves. We have to divide the lower jaw into 2 halves. So the first half of this upper jaw is having 2 incisor, 1 canine, 2 premolar, 3 molars. Same here. 2, 1, 2, 3. Same here. 2, 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 3. Now just count the number. Just count the number. So you will see now that in 1/2 you have total 8 teeth. In another half you have total 8 teeth. So can I not say that upper jaw is having 16 teeth, right? And when you talk about the lower jaw, right, again 8 here, 8 here. So total it will be 16. That's why we write it in this way, right? That's why we write it in this way, that it's 2 in upper, 2 in lower. This is incisor, then 1, 1. Canine, then 2, 2. Premolar, then molars. 3, 3. Okay, so we divided it. Yes, we multiply it with, so total is 8, 8. And obviously you have to multiply it with 2. So in totality, you're getting 32. Okay, now you got it. So 8 plus 8, 16. 8 plus 8, 16. 16 plus 16, 32. So that's how the dentist is going to check. So they will divide our upper jaw into 1/2. Another upper jaw into 2 halves. 1/2, second half, they will check which teeth are present where. That's how it works. Clear, bache? That's how it works. Clear? Just in my case, I have all the 32 teeth. Basically, I have that 3 molars as well. Do you know that? I have 32 teeth. I have 3 molars as well. Chalo. Now, we have to compare it with the infants also. Right? We need to compare it with the infants also. So infants, or you can say that the child which is 0 to 5 years old. Okay, the one which is 0 to 5 years old, or simply you can write the child. So in their case, what is the scenario? In their case, it's 2, 1, 0, 2. Do you know that? Or simply, you can write it like this. 2, 1, 2. See, incisor, canine, premolar, molar. Incisor, canine or molar. You can write it in both the ways. Fine, 2, 1, 0, 2. Like 1/2 is having total 5 teeth. So 5, 5, 5, 5. Total it will be 20. Right? It will be 20. Isn't it? It will be 20. Right? 10 by 10 it will be, na? Upper half is also having 10. Lower half is also upper jaw is also having 10. Lower jaw is also having 10. Total 20. So actually in the case of child, what you need to observe, what you need to focus here is that premolars, they are not present. Premolar is 0. So you can also write it in this way. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So incisor, canine, molar. So if you are writing it like this, 2, 1, 0, 2. So you are specifying premolar is 0. If you are writing it 2, 1, 2, it simply indicates incisor, canine, molars and the premolars are absent. Premolar is 0 here. Clear, bache? Premolars are absent. Premolar is 0 here. Are you getting it? Premolar is 0 here. That's what you need to keep in your mind. So ultimately, in a child, the premolars, they are absent. Now, do you know, bache, molars are present? Usually we say in the case of adults that molars, right, especially the last molar, right, it will grow in the later stages. That's why we use the word wisdom tooth for it, or it is also the vestigial feature. Let me talk about it. We will discuss about it, right? So here in the case of infant, as I said, premolar is absent. So now obviously just compare a baby with an adult. You will see in the case of baby, the jaw size is also not big, hai na? Even the jaw bone, even the skull size will grow, right? So in the case of infants, when they will get their permanent set, then what is going to happen? Because premolars are already 0. So at the place of these molars, right, the premolars will start growing, right? When they'll have their permanent set, what is going to happen? Now, if you compare a baby with an adult, you know that in the case of adult, premolar and molar both are present. But in the case of babies, premolars are absent. So when the child will acquire that permanent set, right, so at the place of premolars, at the place of molars, premolars will start growing, right? The alveoli of the molars will be used by premolars. Premolars will start growing here, and further new sockets will form for the molars. Right? For the molars, new sockets will form, and the sockets of the molars will be used by the premolars. Clear? That's the point. Done. So this is the dental formula which you need to remember. Clear? This is the dental formula which you need to remember. So now I hope that these words are clear to you, that why do we say humans are having thecodont dentition? Why do we say they have heterodont dentition? Why do we say they have diphyodont? Because only 2 sets will be there. Right? Only 2 sets will be there. Right, so you guys can see this diagram. So in the primary set, also known as milk teeth, or the temporary set, so see, molars are present, premolars are absent, right? So molars, they are meant for crushing and chewing. Premolars meant for crushing and chewing. Canines, tearing and shredding. Your incisors, they are for gnawing. Right, now see the upper teeth. Now even the jaw size will also increase. Here the jaw size is small. Here the jaw size will increase. So see, these premolars will be added. So these socket bones of molars will be used for the growth of premolars, and these new socket bones will form for the growth of molars. Clear, bache? Clear, bache? So this diagram is explaining everything. Fine, this diagram is explaining everything. Now the next point. Let's use this diagram. Now, bache, this last molar. Jaise I have 32 teeth. So my last molars, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 will be na. Total 4 molars will be there. Last molar I'm talking about. If I talk about the total number of molars, 3, 3, 3, 3. Means total 12 molars are there. Yes or no? Total 12 molars are there. Yes or no? Tell me, bache. If I talk about the molars, total 12 molars are there. Total 12 molars are there. So this last molar, it's the wisdom tooth. Okay, what is it? This last molar, it is the wisdom tooth. Why? Why? When I was in your age, I used to think that having the wisdom tooth means now I'm very intelligent, but actually that's not the case. If you have the wisdom tooth, that doesn't ensure that you will be intelligent or not. No, actually it grows in the later ages of life. That's why we use the word wisdom tooth, right? Because it grows in the later ages of life. That's why we use the word, wisdom tooth. Which word do we use then? We use the word wisdom tooth. But actually what's the scenario, Shri Harsha? Right? It doesn't ensure that you will be intelligent, right? You have all the wisdom of this universe. Nine. Because it grows in the later ages of our life. And you know that only these last 4, right? So this last molar is the wisdom tooth. So can I say that out of these 12 molars, right, 4 molars are basically the wisdom teeth. है ना? 1, 2. Last molar we are saying na? Last molar of this half, last molar of this half. Last molar of this half, last molar of this half. So total 4 last molars will be there. So they are the wisdom teeth, right? They are the wisdom teeth. Wisdom tooth, right? Wisdom teeth basically, plural. Teeth we use for the plural. ठीक है बच्चे? So they are even vestigial. Do you know that? They are even vestigial. You know the meaning of vestigial organs? Vestigial organs are those which are non-functional in our body. They are present in our body, but they are in non-functional form, right? They are just showing the evolutionary significance. They were functional in our ancestors. They are functional in some related species, but they are not functional in our case. So they can help in that evolutionary significance. They have the evolutionary significances. So basically these 4 molars are vestigial. Is that clear? So out of 12 molars, 8 are functioning, right? 4 are vestigial. Clear bache? Now the next point. Let's compare primary set and the adult set. Let's compare. This is important. Primary set as well as adult set. Primary set is having 20 teeth. Adult set is having 32 teeth. So can I not say that, right? So can I not say that here 20 teeth, they are diphyodont, means they are diphyodont, and 12 teeth, they are monophyodont. Right, they are monophyodont because they are growing just once. See na, 20 teeth we had already. Now adult set is having 12 teeth. So I can clearly say that 20 teeth, they are diphyodont, means, right, they grow twice. They grew twice, and 12 teeth, they are monophyodont. Only one time they originated. So these two, in these 12 teeth, we have 4, half. First of all, we have, see, now you know na, dental formula, it's 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. So obviously, premolars, right, they were absent here in primary set. Premolars. So premolars, they are growing just once, right? So I can say that all premolars are monophyodont in the case of humans. They'll grow just once in their life. Why? Because they were absent here in the adult set. So how many premolars do we have? right? 2 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 6 plus 8, isn't it? 8. So all premolars are monophyodont, means total 8 premolars are monophyodont, and 4 last molars, because here how many molars do we have? Here how many molars do we have? Right, 2. 2 means 8 molars were there, but now here how many molars do we have? 12. So out of that 12, 4 last molars are monophyodont. They'll grow just once in their lifespan. So tell me if there is any doubt. This is important. This is important. Right? So premolar and last molars of human, they are monophyodont. Premolars and last molars of human, they are monophyodont, and your incisor, canine, first and second molar, they are diphyodont. Let me write it here. Your incisors, even your canines, even your first and second molars, diphyodont. है ना? Isn't it? See 20, right? Incisor, canine, molars are there. So first 2 molars are there. Done, bache? So if there is any doubt, do let me know. If there is any doubt, do let me know. The dentition part is important. Clear? The dentition part is important. So incisor, let's start with your incisors here. So bache, here you guys can see incisors, they are chisel shaped. You know, something like this. Canine, you know that, pointed, kind of, because they are meant for the tearing and shredding. Right? They are meant for the tearing and shredding. And do you know, bache, that elephant, do you know elephant is having the tusk? Tusk in elephant. It is modified incisors. Do you know that? Tusk in elephant, it's nothing. These are the modified incisors. Right? Incisors are modified in the case of elephant. Right? They are forming the tusk. Are you getting my point? They are forming the tusk. And now canines. Canines are well developed in carnivores. They are well developed in carnivores. You know that carnivores, right? They are flesh eaters, isn't it? They are flesh eaters. Now, although I'm a vegetarian, but I don't know why, but in my case, my canines are very sharp. Right? Usually it is believed that in the case of in the case of people, those who used to eat meat, right? Non-vegetarian, in their case, their canines are sharp because they need to do the tearing and shredding of the meat. But in my case, although I am, right? Although I'm a vegetarian, but still in my case, my canines are very sharp. These are my Dracula teeth. My friends used to call it as my Dracula teeth. See, I have Dracula teeth. Okay, so canines are well developed in carnivores and they are absent in some herbivores, like your rabbit. Fine, like rabbit. So rabbit may, because see, here you have incisor, canines are absent, then comes the premolar and molar. So there is a space, right? There is a empty space here. Just in between incisor and premolars. In the case of herbivores like your rabbits, we do not have the canines. Canines are absent. So this space is diastema. Do you know that this space is diastema? Right? Diastema is the empty. It is the space present in between incisor and premolars. Right? Why is it there? Because canines are absent. Clear, bache? Canines are absent. So canines are absent in herbivores like your rabbits. They do not have the canines, right? So that space is empty. So that empty space is diastema. That empty space is diastema. What is it? It is diastema. Clear, bache? Clear, bache? Sure? Sure. So isn't it interesting? It's interesting now. It's interesting now. Now let's revise it a bit. Tooth anatomy. So bache, when you look at this tooth, this is the enamel. This white part is the enamel. So let me tell you, it is the hardest substance or hardest part of the body. Do you know that this enamel? What is it? This enamel is the, yes bache, this enamel is the hardest substance in the body. You can write it down. It is the hardest substance in the body. Clear? This is the internal structure, LS. Now you guys can see the socket bone here, and you can see the teeth is deeply embedded here. Now, ultimately, this portion, can you see this particular portion, bache? This particular portion, this portion, this is dentine. What's that? That's dentine. That's dentine. Right? So see the enamel, the dentine, and this dentine is covering the pulp cavity. It is covering what? It is covering the pulp cavity. This pulp cavity is having all the blood vessels, having that nerve supply part also. Clear, bache? Having the nerve supply part also. See, actually when you talk about the tooth, right, it is having three parts. The crown is there, the neck is there, the root is there. You guys can see how root is deeply embedded here in the socket bone, right? When you are talking about the crown, you will see this white part. This hardest substance, white part, is your enamel. And if you will see, this enamel inside is having this dentine, and this dentine is covering the pulp cavity. So when it is the pulp cavity, it is having the, right, when it is the pulp cavity, it is having what? It is having what? Right? Right, it is having all that blood vessels and all. Right, all that blood vessels, isn't it? Isn't it? So hard substance, right? So tooth is having hard, a tooth is having hard bone-like substance, bone-like substance, and that is dentine. Yes, you heard me right. It is dentine, which encloses pulp cavity, right? Which encloses pulp cavity. Clear, bache? It encloses pulp cavity. Clear? Clear, 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 clear. Right? So this pulp cavity, this part is important. Please write down. This pulp cavity is covered by dentine forming cell. This point is important. By dentine forming cells called odontoblasts. Dentine forming cells known as odontoblasts. Right, bache? Right, bache? It is odontoblast, and the crown is covered with shining substance. That's your enamel. And actually, as I said, this enamel is the hardest substance. Clear, bache? It is the enamel which is the hardest substance. So this enamel is rich. You know that it is rich with the calcium. Calcium is very important for our teeth, right? Calcium is very important for our teeth. Clear, bache? Clear, bache? So, and when you talk about the roots of teeth are embedded in the socket bones. They are embedded in socket bones with the help of cementum, like some ligaments are there. Fine, periodontal ligaments and cementum is there. Wait, I will mark it. Clear, bache? I will mark it. Okay. Okay, so root is fixed in the alveoli by cementum and with the help of periodontal membranes. Fine, with the help of periodontal membrane. So this is about this teeth. So you guys can see here, right? So gingiva word is also used for gums. Gingiva word is also used for gums, right? This is the root canal, right? This is the cementum with which the root is fixed here in the socket bone, and here you will also see some periodontal, membrane which will help in this fixation. Periodontal ligaments are also there. So nerves and blood supplies are present here in this pulp cavity. Acha bache, do you know why do we have diphyodont type of dentition? Why 2 sets are there? Why can't it be 3? Yes, why can't it be 3? Do you know that? Yes or no? Do you know that? Because there are some mammals where you will see that polyphyodont type of dentition is there, like the teeth will form many times, and even homodont type of dentition is also there in some mammals. But can you just tell me the reason why? Anji, can you just tell me the reason why? Do you know about it? No? So that's your homework. You will figure out the answer and you will tell me in the chat section about it. Clear? Clear? No, it is not the reason. And baki bache, you know that calcium is very important for your teeth health. Even fluorine is also important. And you know, vitamin C deficiency. Do you know that vitamin C deficiency, it causes scurvy? It causes scurvy, and because of that there will be the gum bleeding, and you know, the teeth, we will feel like that our teeth are not fixed properly. Okay, so gum bleeding can occur, right? Loose teeth can be there, right? Loose teeth can be there. So even vitamin C is very important for our good teeth health. Clear bache? Clear? So that's important, right? That's important. So if there is any doubt, do let me know. Clear? If there is any doubt, do let me know. So I hope now it is clear to you all. So see, this is explaining everything. The roof is having, the floor is having the buccal, the tongue, and tongue is attached with the help of frenulum. This is your uvula. This is the soft palate part. Here you guys can see the teeth, right? The lips and all. So I hope it's clear to you all. And even the internal structure you guys can see. So periodontal membrane and the cementum helps that teeth to get embedded in the socket bone. So enamel is the hardest substance, right? And dentine is formed by odontoblasts. These 2 points are very important. Fine, these 2 points are very important. And next to it is what, bache? Next to it is the esophagus that we need to start. But before that, don't you think that we should whatever we have covered so far, we should read it from NCERT. NCERT line to line reading is also important. So can we just revise it from NCERT? Hai na? Can we just revise it from NCERT? From the next class, we will start the esophagus and on. And tomorrow your session will be for 5 hours minimum. So prepare accordingly. Okay, chalo. So you know that it is the food which is one of the basic requirement. Yes, we need food for our metabolism, for our energy. And food will include your carbohydrate, proteins and fats, right? It will include your carbohydrate, protein and fats. So when it is the carbohydrate and proteins, you know that they are biomacromolecules, right? And we need to, for their digestion, we need to break it down into the simpler forms. If I talk about the fats are biomicromolecules, right? But still their digestion is not so easy, right? Their digestion is not so easy. So obviously we need to convert it into the simpler forms. Vitamin and minerals are also required by our body. They are in the small quantity. So they are the micronutrients. These carbohydrate, protein, fats, they are the macronutrients because we require them in a large quantity. Clear, bache? So food is going to provide us the energy, the organic material for growth and repair, of course. And the water we take in, it is very important for the metabolic processes, right? So water is important. It will prevent the dehydration, right? We need to stay hydrated, and the water is very important for all the chemical reactions, isn't it? So biomacromolecules, now you know the meaning of macromolecules. Their molecular weight is above 10,000 Dalton. So it cannot be utilized by our body directly. We need to convert it into the simpler form, and that will be done by our digestive system. And that is what digestion is, the process of conversion of complex food substance into the simple absorbable forms. Okay, simple absorbable forms. It is the digestion. Clear, bache? So mechanical and biochemical methods are there. You know that. What are the biochemical methods? So this is what I have added for you, right? We'll share the PDF. You will talk about it. So human digestive system is having the alimentary canal and the associated glands. So when it is the alimentary canal, it begins with the opening the mouth. It opens out posteriorly through the anus. So anteriorly, mouth is present. Posteriorly, anus is present. Mouth will lead to the buccal cavity, also known as oral cavity, having muscular teeth and having the tongue, right? So tooth, you know that, deeply embedded in the jawbone. That's why the dentition is thecodont. That's what we have discussed so far. So majority of mammals, even including human beings, they have 2 sets. And you know that, that's why we use the word diphyodont dentition. Clear, bache? So an adult human has 32 permanent teeth. I told you already. We have already discussed this part. And you should know about the infants also. Fine? For the infants also. So hard chewing surface of teeth is made up of enamel. So you guys can write it down in NCERT that enamel is the hardest substance of the body. hardest substance of the body made up of calcium, right? Right, bache? So tongue is freely movable muscular organ attached to the floor by frenulum. So it is again a MCQ. So see, we have discussed so many things, right? If you understand everything, then NCERT will be too easy for you. Isn't it, Ishwat? Suhashini? Then NCERT will be too easy for you. So the upper surface of the tongue has small projection. They can be conical, they can be triangular. These are the papillae, some of which bears a taste bud. So here they have clearly mentioned some of which bears taste buds. So you should know, right? You should know that which papillae they do not bear the taste buds. So what is the answer there? Your filiform papillae. Filiform papillae. They are devoid of taste buds, means they are without taste buds. So oral cavity leads into a short pharynx. So pharynx means you know that what we have? We have knoll, N-O-L, naso, oro and laryngo. In the next class, we are going to continue from this part. So it's a common passage for food and air. I told you, especially your oropharynx. So esophagus and the trachea open into the pharynx, right? So this part about the esophagus and all, we will discuss in the next class, bache. Clear? This is the part we will start in the next class. So for your quick revision, you guys can see the tables here as well. Fine. So that's it. That's all for today, bache. So you can see our lectures are wonderful, right? We are not at all compromising with the quality. So it's a platform where we are teaching you free and we are providing you everything. So imagine if you will be the part of our batches, how sincere we are going to be, right? And it's not about our sincerity. We are already sincere, but it's about you. When you pay for something, that seriousness automatically came and you know that you have paid for it. You have spent your, right? You have spent money. So now you know that you have to take best out of it. So please be the part of this batch, this amazing batch, Chemistry Mind Maps by HSP Sir, and you are getting it at a price of just 199 rupees, bache, right? Right, at a price of 1999, right? And you know that it's too less, it's not too much, right? Our batch prices are minimum. Why? Because we want, right, to teach maximum students. We want to teach the students that really want to do something in their lives, but right, they do not have the financial support. So be the part of this batch, because soon there will be the hike in the price as well. Okay, so take care. Bye-bye. I will share the PDF, but not today. Tomorrow I will share it after finishing this particular chapter. Clear, bache? Then I will provide you the PDF. So be the part of this batch as soon as possible and stay tuned if you're new to our channel. So you know what you have to do. You have to subscribe our channel and please share the video link with your friends as well. Okay, please share it with others as well. Please share it with your friends as well. Clear? So thank you. Bye-bye. Take care. See you all. And you know what you have to do. It will hardly take you 10 seconds. Do let me know in the comment section you like the session or not. Fine? You like the session or not? In the comment section, please do let me know. Thank you.